Now, if there's one smartphone manufacturer out there that I'm surprised isn't doing better in the smartphone world, it has to be Sony. But they're not giving up, and they got a new phone, and we're going to look at it today. It's the Sony Xperia XZ1.
Well, the thing about Sony is that their design has looked the same for a number of years, but they're sticking with it. You know, everybody's going round and edgeless and all the rest of it, but as you can see, we've got the square sort of design to the Sony phone, and you know what? It stands out, and people notice it, and I can see why some people pick the Sony phone and they make that their thing.
You're right about that. You know, if you look at the Xperia line over the last 3 years, it looks pretty much the same. One noticeable difference you'll see is the power button on the side here is now kind of inverted inside there, whereas before in previous years they actually had a kind of a dedicated button that would stick out, protrude, so you could feel it with your hands. But now it kind of just subtly is there in the same spot, but just a little bit of a different design. And you know, I feel bad for Sony because it's a pretty nice phone. It's just a lot of people haven't really got onto the Sony bandwagon.
Well, you're a pretty nice guy. The other thing I will say that it's actually got 5.2-inch screen and it's Gorilla Glass 5. We don't always talk about the glass, but the thing about the Gorilla Glass 5 is that it's literally military grade. Like, it's hard to smash that. So they made this thing tough. It's also running Android Oreo, which is the latest version, and Snapdragon 835 processor. So if you look at all the specs, it's really competing against the sort of plus $1,000 phones, but it comes in a price point a couple $100 less than that.
And if Sony knows one thing, it's cameras. They've always been known for their cameras. And on the back, if you just flip it over, it's got a 19 megapixel camera on the back.
19 megapixels.
You know, you can't judge a camera by the megapixels, as they say, but it still does some really nice photos. It even has a slow-mo for when you're taking videos. You know, out of all the Xperia phones, I'm really, really impressed with this phone and the camera on there, and I'm not surprised. Because,
I mean, I usually see megapixels in around 12 or 16, so to go to 19, they've kind of made that something that they want to stand out. Funny about the battery size.
It is a small battery size. It's a small phone, you know, but it comes out 2,700 milliamp hours, which is still under 3,000 milliamps. So you're not going to be able to go more than a day with this. If you use it a lot, you might want to have to charge it at some point in time. But it really resonates, I think, AJ, for the Sony PlayStation fans out there.
Absolutely. So this is the one thing is that, you know, if you've got a PS4 and you're an avid gamer, then having this phone is going to be a great addition to that because they actually integrate quite well together.
It is. And so I think if you are someone that's in the market for a smartphone and you love playing games on your PlayStation, this is something that's going to enhance that experience. It's going to take it to the next level. But again, you know, you have to kind of confer to a square design, which I don't think it's that bad, you know. I know curve's the new flat, but there's nothing wrong with edges.
Hey, it's hip to be square.
That's right. Again, we are looking at the newest phone from Sony. It's their Sony Xperia XZ1. You can get more information at sonymobile.com.